Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, I'm doing something I haven't done in quite a while, and that is an unboxing and walkthrough of two beautiful decks which I just received in the mail today. And I'm doing this because I'm planning on using these for my new spread for when I return to my weekly spreads where I dive into topics related to living an intentional life. And so, because these are going to be my decks for the new lunar cycle, before I start using them, I thought I'd do a walkthrough. And like I said, I just received them today. Which decks are they? Well, the first one is the Textured Tarot. And the second one is an oracle called the Original Life Design Cards. These are both done by the wonderful creator Lisa McLoughlin and McLoughlin. And honestly, this was the deck that I was the most interested in when it popped back up on Kickstarter. The Textured Tarot had been on and off of my wish list for quite a while. I'd look at it and say, yes, I'd want it, and then I'd come around to about the time I'd think of buying it, and then I'd back off. But this was offered along with this. And so now that I have it in my hands, I'm a lot more excited about working with it, and that's the reason that I made the pretty snap decision to use both of these decks starting next week. So, like I said, if you're interested in seeing a walkthrough of these decks, I think I'm going to be able to do both of them at once. Stay tuned. I'll flip the camera down and we'll dive in together. Friends, here we are back at my table, and you can see there's this beautiful spread cloth laid out beneath the decks, and I'll show you a photo of this spread cloth right now. Isn't that just beautiful? This spread cloth came with this package of wonderful decks, and I'm 99.9% sure that I'm going to use it for my readings for the next month as I use these two decks in tandem with the Star Seeker Tarot. I think these two are going to speak together very interestingly. And the Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. So this is going to be a really interesting setup, and I invite you to come check it out starting next month. Next month being September, when I've changed out my decks and I start my readings around living an intentional life. So here we go. We're going to look at the Textured Tarot first, so I'll set the Original Life Design cards aside for now. Just as a note, this beautiful card came with the set. Number 51, an extra card, Derek John Thomas's Bountiful Autumn. Absolutely touched to have received this. Look at the back of that card. It's just stunning. So that came with it. Also a thank you card with the same owl that's on the box of the Original Life Design cards. And on the back, it's a general thank you. Hi there, you are amazing. Of course, we're all amazing. Thank you so much for choosing to support a small independent business. And a beautiful little note from Lisa McLoughlin. Thank you very much, Lisa. We are all indebted to you and your creativity. Now we're starting with the Textured Tarot. And you can see that this box is already very textured, right? We've got a lovely rose. We've got textured material here. From what I recall, the Textured Tarot is made in a very interesting way. Fabric was used in the creation of the deck to give it the texture. And the box actually has a tactile texture to it. There's a rough finish to this matte box. Perhaps one would call it a linen finish. It's something like a linen cardstock. Let me show you the back of the box. The back of the box is beautiful. You can see 3 cards there. Complete full color 78 card deck, of course. And, oh, my lid is upside down. Let me turn the lid upside down. Very simple inside. Very good. Very nice. The inside of the box also very simple. Very nice. Nicely designed. This is the guidebook for the textured tarot. Now let me see if you need this zoomed in at all. I think this will be okay. So, textured tarot guidebook is going to be, in black and white. Gives you a page for the major arcana, 1 page each for the major arcana. And for the minor arcana, we also have 1 page each, but text is a little bit less, but it's nice to have a full page per card. We've got a thumbnail of the card, and number 4, for example, 4 of Pentacles, number 4, rationality, stability, giving you a numerological idea of what 4 could mean. Let's check the 4 of another suit. Let's see, number 6, 5, 4, rationality, stability. So yeah, it gives you good reminders of that. We also have the meaning of the card. No reverse readings, but that's not necessary, right? Okay, so a very nice, handy guidebook. Are there spreads either at the back or in the front? No spreads in the back. And an introduction, no spreads in the front. But frankly, I'm not sure every guidebook needs to have spreads, personally. I'm very happy with this. Nicely bound, fits in the box beautifully, perfect. So this is what the back of the deck looks like. The backs are black and white. You can see they look like they will be perfectly reversible. Yes, they are, if that matters to you. Yeah, they're reversible. And let me flick these over. I don't want to spend too much time because I want to get through both of these decks. So we start with the Fool. Now, let me read the introduction, because this introduction should tell us about how this deck was created. Welcome to the Textured Tarot. I'm so pleased that it has found a way into your life. The creation of this deck sprung from a desire to make something for personal growth that is accessible to understand and fashioned in a way that felt more in keeping with my values around nature, inclusiveness, compassion, and kindness. With a beautiful mix of visual ideas of what it means to be human, it is an eclectic fusion of traditional, contemporary, symbolic, and quirky illustrations. I approach this project with an open heart as an artist interpreting the information before me. If you are interested, I have presented my reading list at the back of the booklet. That's good. Based on my tarot research, the tarot is loosely themed around the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. That is, the Golden Dawn systems are generally the most Golden Dawn systems. The Thoth is Golden Dawn. RWS, Rider-Waite-Smith, or the Smith-Waite deck is also Golden Dawn. Not the most traditional deck, of course. Probably the most recent of the decks that we have in our possession. When we talk about systems, if you start at the major arcana, flow into the cards, and then end up at the pips, you'll notice a suitable variation in style that evolved during my journey creating this deck. I love that about them. The deck taps into my vulnerability, which leaves me with the sense that many people will benefit from this source of inspiration. I like to think that it is an approachable gateway for people new to tarot, particularly those who fear it, or a collector's deck for the tarot card lovers. I can also see it complementing many other tarot and oracle deck readings. It's up to you how you use the cards. I don't think it's my place as an artist to suggest. Now, where is the information about? Okay, here. I describe myself as a mixed media digital collage artist who creates nature-inspired arts and crafts. My previous oracle deck of designs are mostly made with layers of textures, drawings, and paintings collaged together. This time, I took a different approach using collaged pieces of digital photography mixed with textures. Digital drawing and reusable stitching on artisan indie decks are my absolute favorite. So the way I understand it is, yes, there is photo collage along with textured art. Now that textured fabric I wish you'd describe this a little better. And I'm sure there's a better place to get that description. What I think has been done is that fabric has been perhaps photographed and shaped to match the figures that we want, in addition to other photo collage, I think. I don't think she actually cut these out and laid them out on a card, but I could be wrong, and I'd hoped that the guidebook would have given us more detail into the process. But fabric is important for this deck. That's as far as I can go. So, the Fool, we've got it all. We got the dog, we got the leap from this into this, and this, do you notice the masks in the background? I get this sense of theatricality being leaping into theatricality because of these masks. May not be the intention of the creator, but that's what I'm seeing. Also with this mannequin behind, it's a very interesting set of images that have been put together. Love the dog. Notice there's a leash to the dog, and I said I'm not going to be talking too much. Okay, moving on to the magician. Lovely magician, got all the tools on the table. It's all there. I love that the titles are going to be easy to read, I believe. I love that there's some vintage inspired imagery being used. I think that's what I'm trying to say. This table looks like a very vintage, almost antique table to me. Here we have the High Priestess, lovely. We got the two pillars in cloth behind, or actually around her, right? We got the moon in the background. I love how the garment flows down into the ground. And do you see the moon here? All beautiful, all lovely. The thread, this red thread, I wonder if this red thread is going to be working its way through all of the cards. It's a little difficult to see here. I think it is here. But let's see if we notice a trend here. Here we have the Empress. I see a lot of red thread here. Beautiful. Love the cornucopia shape here of the roses that she may be holding in her arms. Oh yes, look. Okay, so there's this vase with this flowing out and photographs of flowers coming out of it. It's a very interesting collage style, and I generally do not like collage decks, but I think this one is going to be the exception for me. Love this Emperor. Love the books down here. Love the textures for the different parts of his clothing. Yeah, the red, the spots on his boots, the texture of his pants. Lovely, lovely, lovely work. Do you see a red thread here? I might have just been anticipating something that is not going to be an actual element, and yep, I think I was wrong. Okay, not a problem. Hierophant, love the keys there. Love the clerical, not papal, but clerical garb. Yeah, you see looks like a Duomo and the dome of a church or some kind of a large official structure from the inside. Not exactly sure what these are at the bottom. They look like they could be more of those mannequins that we saw in the Fool card here. Yeah, it does look like that, right? Those mannequins, those posable mannequins. Here we go with the Lovers. Beautiful, beautiful card. Now, a little bit of diversity in this card, which is lovely. Love her dress. Love that layered dress, the sheer over the less sheer. It's beautiful. Love the hair. All of it's just lovely. Here we go with the Chariot. Okay, we got a female charioteer, but we've got the canopy above her. We've got the horses going in different directions. You see the wheels look like they're moving very nicely in this chariot. Some of them don't look like they can move, do they? Have the city in the background. Lovely. Strength. Oh, look at this strength card. look how gently she is manipulating or stroking or touching the lion's mouth, which is open, but I think we can interpret the opening of the mouth in different ways. This could be a very gentle opening. It could be a part of a roar. If it's a roar, she's dealing with it very nicely. If it's not a roar, they're interacting very nicely together. I love the roses in a lemniscate. That's lovely. Here we have the hermit, a female hermit. Now, like I said, one of the things that perhaps kept me deciding not to buy this deck is that it's very heavily female. And I don't like, personally, decks that are so heavily female because I want balance of gender and non-gender in my decks if possible. So that might have been a reason. And seeing the female charioteer, the female hermit, that might have been the reason, but I'm still very glad I have it. I'm very glad to be using it, and it's not a barrier for me with this deck. I don't believe. Love this Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. There is Latin around it, and I'm not going to try to take the time to read. Well, I am going to take the time to try and read it. Just a moment. Let's see. Okay, no. It's faded just enough for me to need more time to read this accurately, so I'm not going to put you through that. But beautiful card, right? A little bit, yeah, Buddhist, right? We've got the three, instead of the yin-yang, or in Korean, yang, the Taoist symbol, we have three, which is actually very Korean. It might also be from other cultures, but this is a very Korean symbol in the center of this very Buddhist looking wheel, which I love. Absolutely. Notice the four suits up at the top. Instead of having the four creatures, the lion, the bull, the eagle, and the angel, we've got instead the creator believing or wanting those things to be the elements, yeah? Air, fire, water, earth. So instead of that, we put the suit symbols up there. The clubs would be fire. The hearts would be water. The spades would be swords, which is air. The diamonds would be earth, right? Very, very clever. Here we go with Justice. Beautiful card. Love. Can you see the scale? I don't know if it's how easy it is to see, but the scale's there. The sword is up, but not all the way up. Love the salamander. We're giving a real fiery wands-ish kind of symbology, which I'm surprised at a little bit, but I like it there. I like it a lot. Justice is 11. Love this hanged man. Love that he is a male presenting figure too. Love the pants. Love the legs are in a 4. Love the halo around the head. All this is just lovely. Love it almost looks like waves or water at the bottom. Could be land, could be water. I think we can choose. Love. Can you see the maze here in this area? Oh, just so much wisdom and cleverness and intelligence in this deck. And it will require being looked at deeply, I believe. Card 13, love that there's no title on this. Otherwise known as Death in most Rider-Waite Smith decks. In most Smith-Waite decks, it's Death. But here, following the tradition of Marseille, this is the nameless card. 14, Temperance, love her. Look, blue-red in her clothes. We've got the angel wings. We've got the gold and the silver cup. Get very alchemical. We've got the Carduceus. Well, we've got the snakes from the Carduceus. I don't see the rod up the center, but don't need it. Beautiful card. And the devil, look at that. So we have the two mannequins chained to the image of the goat, which is interesting. I like that. This reminds me just a little bit of the Tildwick. I just got to say it. A couple of these cards are giving me Tildwick Tarot echoes. Look, okay, can you see the mazes here again for the tower? This looks like the Tower of Babel. Lightning coming down from the top. Love the two different colors of flowers, a pink and a white rose. Love that. Instead of people flying off, there's a mask here. There might be another mask. Yep, there's another mask down there. Lovely. And I love that this maze is included again, which is now giving me, and it isn't the same, but is giving me tarot of the she symbology. So very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, moving on to the star. Look at that star. She is gorgeous. 1 foot touching the water, like that. The two vessels are a little difficult to see, but they're here. 1, 2. Love the pink. That ibis looks a little bit more like a flamenco to me. I don't think the book actually describes the art in the cards. Let me just quickly look at the Temperance, the star card here, and see if it's described. Hope, inspiration, shining in a light, balance between love and non-conformity. Okay, yes, the image is not described, which is a little too bad, but it also opens it up for our own inspection, right? We're not being told what to look at. The moon, look at these two canines, very domesticated, very wild looking. We've got the lobster coming up from what looks like a textured sea. The rose is an interesting choice. These two things remind us of the two castles, the two towers at the side. We've got the moon up there. Absolutely brilliant. Here is the sun. Look at that. We've got a baby. Instead of on a horse, the baby is holding an airplane. And there's another baby riding a carousel. We've got a beautiful sun in the background. We've got the sunflowers. There are butterflies etched in here. Can you see the butterfly? Here, here, here. So much richness in this collage. The next is realization instead of judgment. Realization. Let's see if there's no extra card. Okay, so that's interesting. We got a phoenix rising up. Can you see that? Do you notice that phoenix image here with the long tail? A human figure like it's holding it, or grasping the tail, or supporting the tail of the phoenix rising. We get the idea of the universe there behind all of this. Here is the world. No figure here. So in the Wheel of Fortune, recall that instead of the 4 creatures around the Wheel of Fortune, we had the 4 suits. Stars, diamonds, spades, hearts, and clubs. Here we have the astrological signs, right? We've got Scorpio, we have Aquarius. This would be the eagle. This would be the angel. This would be the lion, Leo. This is Taurus. That would be the bull. Beautiful wreath in the center. No humans. You can put yourself in there to your heart's delight. And we have some sacred geometry in the background. And this is the flower of life, I believe. I think that's what we call it. Okay, so Ace of Wands. Beautiful ace. Look at all that power shooting off. Looking a little bit like a fall card to me, doesn't it? I wonder if the wands are more in the range of fall colors. It looks like they might be. 2 of Wands, no figures, no humans, but we have the world there. Yeah, looking at possibilities, looking at expansive options. The 3 of Wands. We got the ships down there. We got the 3 wands up here. There is no human. And this flame is very interesting. The colors are just so vibrant. I love that. The 4 of Wands. Okay, again, no human. But we do have 4 wands down here at the bottom. We have the idea of a celebration. Not so much wedding here, but looks like a party, a celebration, a gathering. It could be the hearth and home, yes? All those ideas are possible. Homecoming. 5 of Wands. Look at that. Okay, so don't exactly get the idea of competition clearly here. But each one of those fingers is a flame, and that's very interesting. I'm not really sure what I would do with that offhand, but something will be done, I know. The 6 of Wands. Okay. We've got the Wreath of Victory. We got this. It's all tied up. Love that. We got a path, maybe like the Appian Way or all roads lead to Rome. Puzzle piece in the background. That's interesting. That's something to think about. Seven of Wands. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've seen me speak about this in the past, but I usually think of the Seven of Wands as the inner conflict of the wand suit. And notice these shouting figures in the background. Those could be inner voices or voices from the outside, right? And the Eight of Wands, look at that. Just like Pamela Coleman Smith might have collaged it. The 8 arrows flying through the air. Perfect. The Nine of Wands, look at this guy. Now, okay, so we've got another guy. I like that. Love the pose. Love that strength there. These could be battle wounds, or they could be, I don't know, they could be badges of honor as well. But still remains in their power in front of this line of defensive or barrier or marking off wands. And then, oh, here's another one. Okay, so we've got naked and clothed. I prefer this one, but I don't know why anybody would not like this one, but instead we have this one as well as a backup. Not really sure why that would be necessary, but moving right along to the 10 of Wands. Oh, look at that. Beautiful card. Beautiful, beautiful work. Looking very burdened. Going up a flight of stairs with all that makes it look even more burdened, doesn't it? The Page of Wands. Creativity, yes. Very youthful energy, very youthful atmosphere. Playing a fiddle. Absolutely lovely. Look at the skippy pose there with the feet. Looking very youthful, vibrant, alive. The Knight of Wands, looking very passionate on top of his lion, yeah? Maybe this is a brush, a paintbrush. Maybe this knight is riding off to creativity. The head is just bursting with ideas. Yeah? The shoe being kicked off is an interesting choice. I'm not sure what to do with that. It's like he's moving so quickly with so much power, he's losing his clothes. The Queen of Wands. Oh, she's lovely. We got the sunflower. We got the cat. We got the paintbrushes in the background. This is a very creative queen, yes? Lovely. Lovely hair. Leonine hair. And the King of Wands. Look at that. Love the hair on this one. And the lion there at the center, at the chest. Love that. And the train behind. Looking, okay, this could be non-binary, right? It could be a non-binary person, certainly. Although the body does look male. So in some respects, I like this in addition to other forms of non-binary representation because, well, that's another discussion. If you want to really know about my thoughts about that, let me know in the comments below and I will riff on it, but that's a long riff. Okay, so Ace of Cups, beautiful, beautiful card. Love the water. Love the goblet that she chose. Two of Cups. Okay, we've got different kinds of relationships here, right? You can see same-sex couples if you want. You don't have to see same-sex couples if you don't want. It's all up to us because it's so vague and we've got 4 people. Who is really in relationship with whom? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the Three of Cups. Love this one. Love this one. I like that there are differences in the 3 people here. Yeah? I'd like to see different people with different talents coming in and sharing their creative, their emotionally creative gifts. Now, not the creativity of passion, but the emotional creativity of water. That's what I'm trying to say. The Four of Cups. Look at her. Now, usually the 4 cups are in front and they're the ones that are the disappointment, and the 1 cup that is not being looked at is the bright, shiny, lovely one that we keep wanting to say, but just look over there. But looks like this figure, this one cup is disappointing. There are 3 above that could be potential substitutes, remedies, gifts. Lovely. 5 of Cups. Interesting card. 2 up, 3 down. 1 very crying eye, 1 not so. The lips down here. Now, this figure, to me, is a little bit more distraught than I would normally think of the 5 of Cups as being. But this less distraught-looking eye will help me a great deal. The 6 of Cups, look at that. Child, swimming through the water with her very favorite dolphin. Love that. The 6 cups underneath the water, bubbles of air, very playful, very happy card. 7 of Cups. Now, House of Cards is not the way that I would generally like to think of the 7 of Cups. I would generally think of the 7 of Cups as being dreams of the step before we decide on a path to embark on and then move in that direction. It's that daydreaming of creation. Steps of creation for me are, first, you daydream what you want to experience in your life. And then you choose from those daydreams, those become a little bit more clear. And then we place them on our river of intention and we move in that direction. To me, the 7 of Cups, unless reversed, is not the card of illusion and houses of cards that are about to come tumbling down. And so this is a card that I'm going to want to rework in my head in a different way. This 8 of Cups. Okay, very good. We got 8 cups. We got the person walking away. We've got the path laid out. There's a clear path that they've got in their sights. Love the butterfly on the back. Okay, the 9 of Cups. Love this one. Very, very kitty with a cup of cream. Very satisfied. And I wonder if this kitty has eaten all of those other cups of cream, perhaps. Very, very happy, satisfied looking cat. And the 10 of Cups. Beautiful image. Beautiful, beautiful image. 2 horses in the background. Couple walking off. We've got the rainbow just hinted there. Lovely. And the Page of Cups. Oh, look at this. A little older looking than other pages than the other page we've seen in this deck. But that's not a problem. Pages don't have to be chronologically young. They want to be spiritually young, if that makes sense. Love the seahorses there. Love that she's in this attempt of a lotus posture underwater. That is a very difficult thing to do, by the way. Knight of Cups, interesting, looking a little bit like a mannequin, but maybe not, maybe actually human. We've got armor over underwear, an interesting choice, and a winged armor, love that. The very romantic looking image for a person wearing mostly what looks like underwear. But moving right along. And the Queen of Cups. I love that this is the card with the person in a wheelchair. That's beautiful. It's not the Chariot. It's not one of those other cards. I love that it's the Queen of Cups. And I love that she flows out of her chair. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love, can you see the cup there? Beautiful chalice. Beautiful cup. Oh, look at this King of Cups. Lovely. Definitely balanced, right? It's definitely got some wisdom to his emotions. Love the swan in the background. Okay, Ace of Swords. Here we go. Ace of Swords, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Cutting through a cloud of white. 2 of Swords. Eyes are closed, like oftentimes we'll see the 2 of Swords, the woman with the blindfold on, but we've got the eyes closed. We've got the crossed swords. We've got perhaps something tied up, something that needs to be unraveled. And gears, the gears of the mind perhaps beneath. 3 of Swords, beautiful card. Beautiful card. The swords are pointed towards where her heart might be, but it's not just swords piercing a heart, right? Very, very anguished looking face on this Three of Swords card. Hopefully we can imagine that this is a step in a learning process of gaining wisdom from an experience. The Four of Swords, meditation, recuperation. I can see all of that in this card. And we see a storm on the outside, but this person is in their own bubble and safe where they are. Safe in place, right? Okay, the Five of Swords. So, Five of Swords is often winning, but at what cost? So, if we think of this fox is about to get this bird, but at what cost? And frankly, there's also a little bit of the Fool card flashing before my eyes in this one, the Fool taking the leap. So I kind of want to think that there's a possibility that this fox will be just fine instead of being the success but at what cost card. But I think that's what we want, what is intended. The Six of Swords, lovely. Lovely card, moving on. Instead of moving on in the water, we got moving on through the air, which is appropriate because the swords are an air suit in the Smith-Waite decks, right? The Golden Dawn decks. Seven of Swords, lovely. Fox, looks like a fox to me, going off with Five of the Swords, leaving two behind, going off in their own way, perhaps stealing, perhaps not. Maybe these swords are actually swords that belonged to the fox. Here we go with the Eight of Swords. Oh my God, this one is a little bit harsh. So we've got barbed wire around her legs instead of just being surrounded by swords with a pathway out. This figure is much more trapped than I usually like to see in an Eight of Swords. I won't go any farther. But yeah, this is a little bit of a brutal Eight of Swords for me. Is blindfolded. We do get the blindfold here. Nine of Swords, the nightmares, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 Freddy Krueger fingers coming from the shadows. But notice that her garment is so celestial. That's interesting, isn't it? And the Ten of Swords, yes. Totally knocked down by thought. And yet, to me, she looks worse off than him. Yeah, I know that it looks like this sword is piercing through this person, but to me, she just looks worse off because of the blood, perhaps, because of being bound so tightly. She looks worse off than the 10, and I usually like to see the 10 looking worse off than the 8. That's just my thing. The Page of Swords, love her. Look at this huge bird. Love that. We got the books beneath. We got that idea of communication, of words, of being able to see into the distance, not as clearly as the king should be able to see, but seeing off into the distance. We have that maze there in the background again. The Knight of Swords, riding off into an adventure. I love that card. Love her. Love her hair too. Beautiful. Beautiful. This almost could have been a unicorn. Anyways, look at that queen. Now look at her. She reminds me of the woman from Cagney and Lacey a little bit. And I forget her name. But, oh, look at her. Her eyes just pierce, right? Such clarity, such intelligence. Also independence. We got butterflies here. We got a flamenco, interesting thing. Love the flamenco. And a King of Swords with the air turbine. Yeah, his thoughts power him. Maybe the air powers these windmills. His thoughts power him. He's got 2 birds of prey for night and day. Butterflies, birds, everything we could want. And we have differently abled person, right? He has had one leg amputated at the knee, and we have a device, a prosthesis here for him. And still looking immensely stylish, sophisticated, just like each and every one of us with all of our diversity of abilities and bodies and shapes and ages can be. Absolutely stunning. Stunning card. Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. Seed of opportunity, right? So green. Love the green. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, juggling. We've got a hint of that lemniscate there. That's good. Love the butterfly. Love the fairy feel to this card. The Three of Pentacles. Instead of people coming together, but we do have tools here. We do have mallets. We do have chisels. And we have the Three Pentacles here. And a rose. Have to think about those roses. Have to think about these flowers in this deck. Significance of them. Four of Pentacles. Instead of a piggy bank, we have a bully bank. Because bull is an earth suit, a Pentacles earth suit, right? So we've got coins going in the back of a bull. Saving it rather than greedy miserliness. I like that change. Five of Pentacles. Look at that. Looking very destitute. Looking very... poor person. Nice shoes, though. But poor person. Okay. The Six of Pentacles. Yeah, benefacting, giving. But there's no specific giver here, which is nice. Yeah. Both look like they have the possibility of receiving. I love that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One person has actually received, the other is still expecting. They're on the balance. Instead of a person holding the scales, they're on the scales themselves. Interesting. Seven of Pentacles, yeah? Looking at things, evaluating things, waiting for things to grow and develop. Maybe these are paintings. So this is a paint palette. There are perhaps brushes there. Maybe these are still being worked on, maybe, but not the working on of the Eight of Pentacles, right? The Eight of Pentacles is the one of the worker. The is the one of waiting for harvest, usually. But frankly, to me, this looks more like an Eight of Pentacles card to me, and this looks more like a Seven of Pentacles card to me. Now, this person looks more like they are waiting. This person looks more like they are in the process of creating. Does that make sense? Can you see where I might be a little bit confused here? Even I'm not saying I'm totally confused. Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. It's the image. The image. This image has the feel of an Seven of Pentacles. This image has the feel of an Eight of Pentacles for me. Yes, this way. Oh, look at that Nine of... Now, this has a total Nine of Pentacles look to it. We got the falcon, we got all this riches, maybe a little bit too focused on things like jewels, but still, we've got the riches, we've got the luxury, we've got the material here for our person holding our falcon. Lovely. The Ten of Pentacles. I do see legacy here. I do see inheritance possibly. Could have been cool to have these pentacles in the tree of life shape, but that's not necessary all the time. You notice the tree here with the roots, yeah? The family tree with the roots going down into the material, accumulated material wealth of the family. If that makes sense. The Page of Pentacles. Look at her reading, the student, studying the material, studying the things around them. Yeah? The acorns around them. The acorns of possibility and investigating what can I do with them? What is it? What can I learn from it? The Knight of Pentacles, the slow-moving knight, yeah? The one who moves but does the tasks, does the work. The Queen of Pentacles, the nurturer, the physical nurturer. We got the bunny down here. And we also have a hedgehog down there. That's interesting. Now, I usually think of the queen as being the one who cares for others and prepares things to offer to others. And working with a potter on a potter's wheel is an interesting choice. It's something I'll have to think about or feel my way through. The King of Pentacles, looking like a little bit like a Dawn, but not entirely. Also looks like a Napa wine vineyard owner. Could be. It kind of looks like some people in my family. My maternal grandfather and his side of the family, possibly. Okay, so that is the textured tarot, and I've spent a lot of time on this, and I want to spend some time on the oracle deck. So I'm going to set this aside and move right along to the oracle deck, which is only 50 cards. The original life design cards weave a different story. Now inside of this we've got stickers, look at these stickers, sticker, motivation, sticker, discern the patterns, sticker, have a rendezvous with your imagination, sticker, gratitude, sticker, creative diversity, sticker, discovers simplicity through the senses. So this oracle deck is going to be a wonderful, wonderful addition. And oh look, I didn't notice that. I didn't think that this would be here. We got a actual deck-sized card with Derek John Thomas's Bountiful Autumn. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this in the deck when I do readings for all of us. Probably not, but we'll see. Okay, moving right along. This is the guidebook. The back of the box is lovely. Here we go, back of the box. This deck is the original Life Design cards by Lisa McLoughlin Art. It has returned by popular demand in an updated rigid box. Illustrations are the same, but the first 24 cards and the booklet have different wording. The cards are a personal development companion, whether as an oracle or a numerically structured tool. They tap into your intuitive wisdom and aim to provide support and guidance to make incremental improvements in your life. Deck of 50 cards, beautiful, absolutely lovely. Inside of the box, nice, clean. Let's look at the guidebook very, very briefly before we look at the backs. So, and I haven't talked card size yet, have I? Let's see, contents. What are the Life Design cards? An overview of the deck, very, very brief. How to use it is good. Suggestion 1, suggestions for ways to use the deck, interesting, good. Going by number, as she mentioned, for example, here, let me show you this. For example, let's see, place the first 12 cards in numerical order into a pile with a number at the top. Put the following 12 Permaculture Principle cards, 13 through 24, randomly into another stack. Keep the rest of the cards, 25 to 50, in a random third pile. Start at a number with number 1 in the deck and work through the 12 consecutive card prompts. If you wish, you can lay the cards out into a pattern to see and review them all as a whole. There may be important interconnections between the 12 cards. And it goes through to give you ideas about ways to work with them in that pairing. And I'm making these cards move all over the place, and I'm probably shaking you up too. Suggestion 3, all cool. Suggestion 5, wonderful. So, not a lot of information per card. We don't have any thumbnails. Just a little bit of a write-up for each card. For example, number 1, frame a vision, spring. Allow yourself to imagine an outcome. Ignite your hopes by setting an intention. Explore your ideal, your wildest dreams, and create a positive feeling of being alive. So these life design cards give suggestions. Yeah? And it'll be very interesting to work with. And I think I know how I'm going to work with these cards during the next month. And if you want to see how that turns out, be sure to hit the alarm bell and hit subscribe and the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. So this is beautiful. This is the back of the cards. Let me make sure that they are not upright. They are reversed right now. This is upright. That makes more sense, right? The face, beautiful, beautiful. Not reversible, if that's important for you. Or at least the backs will show you whether the card is upright or reversed. And actually, that doesn't bother me. I will shuffle reversals into a deck that other people say it's not reversible because of the way I draw cards. And it doesn't matter if I can tell from the back whether it is upright or reversed, because the card that comes up is the card that comes up. So these are the beautiful backs. They are larger than the textured tarot, which is, I believe, a standard tarot size. And in case you were curious, let me pull out my Make Playing Card Standard Tarot. And I'm shaking you up. Yeah, Standard Tarot card. Textured Tarot, almost exactly the same. The corners are a little bit different, but basically the same. And so the textured tarot is definitely larger, more standard oracle-sized cards. Okay, so let me flip this deck over and let's quickly take a look at these pictures because these are beautiful. Frame of Vision. Let me put this over here. Frame of Vision. You can totally get that right. Frame up there on the wall. Assistance. Can totally get that too. Notice the kite. Yeah. I wonder, is that, yes, it looks like that kite's going to be in all of these. Obstacles. Well, being in a jar would definitely be an obstacle. And also the spider's web is an obstacle, a deadly obstacle for other insects. Discern the patterns. Look at that. We've got another spider's web. Okay, so spider's webs are also in these cards, right? Discern the patterns. I love the balance here of perhaps the hot and the cool. Gather the seeds. Lovely. Okay, so I don't see a kite here anymore. I didn't see a kite here, but we still have the web. Principles. Now it's interesting that this is card 6, but here we begin with 13 going through 24, which are probably the principles of this deck. Let me see. The 12 Permaculture Principles, 13 through 24. So Permaculture Principles are indicated here. Do you know what permaculture is? If you don't, I want to say look it up. Permaculture, it's a way of especially farming, but living in a way that is sustainable. And having the ground be renewed as we use it, as we interact with it. Having the soil renewed as we interact with it. And drawing together. Beautiful. Love the harvest here. 8, get stuff done. We've got more web here. Web of life, spider's web. Looks like this person is canning or perhaps preserving in some way. I do wild fermentation myself. I make my own kimchi, just saying. Motivation, look at that. Breathing space. Oh, the kite's back. Love the kite. Web has been here throughout. Contemplate, yes. The web is right back here in the moon. I love that. I love how connected, how in her emotions she is. Gratitude. Beautiful. Can you see diversity in this deck already? Mostly, except for the fact that, there's a kind of a male presenting figure, I suppose. There's another male. But again, very highly female. Just saying. To me. And I'm a little bit overly sensitive about that, I'm sure. Observe and record. Owls, love that. Harness energy. What is that? Is that a beaver? Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about that. What is that creature? You can tell me in the comments below if you like. Get a yield. Harvest, right? Okay, we're getting into permaculture. From card 13, that was the beginning of the permaculture part of this series. Yeah, cards 13 through 24, Permaculture Principles. So when we get to card 25, I'll tell you what the rest of them are. Get a yield, like I said. Find a balance with feedback. Oh, that's good. Feedback from the earth, I would assume, and also feedback from each other. 17, renewable resources. Lovely. Hay being used to feed a horse, which is probably also helpful to do other things. Create no waste. Excellent principle. An excellent principle. For example, let me talk about plastic a little bit. We should, of course, all reduce our plastic. But what kind of plastic? The plastic we're talking about is especially the single-use plastics. Plastic for medical purposes, that's a very different thing, right? Plastics, for example, plastic tarot cards. I love my plastic tarot cards because they are durable and they will last me a long, 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 long time. There are times when plastic can actually be appropriate, but most of the plastic we use is disposable, and that is a problem. That creates waste. So that's what I'm saying. Part 19, patterns and details. We've got the spider. The spider has shown up finally. Have we lost the web in these cards? I just noticed that, yeah? The web disappeared after 12. But we got a little bit of a web back in number 19. Look at the bees. Love the bees. Integrate into a system, a hive. Integrate into your hive. 21, small and slow solutions are the best. Now, slow and steady wins the race. Look at these. Are these two macaws, maybe? Maybe. Interesting. I might have chosen a sloth, but then that might have made other people laugh. Anyways, cultivate diversity. Diversity of mushrooms, for example. Yeah? Monocultures are dangerous and destructive. Monocultures, when we plant vast amounts with one kind of apple, for example, or even just two kinds of apples, those become monocultures and they dominate other species, and then they become susceptible to diseases and they put the food chain out of balance. 23, explore the edges. Lovely, lovely card. Difficult for me to see what I'm looking at, but there's plenty to explore there, right? Creativity at work. Creatively work with change. Perfect. The butterfly coming out of the cocoon. Excellent image. Number 25. Okay, 25, we begin a new cycle. 25 through 36, the third set of 12 cards is an eclectic mix of ideas and the activities that align with the seasons. So, perhaps spring. Wake up, don't fall asleep. Love that iris there. Meander, yeah? Walk slowly, and because as we meander, we also can observe. Now, notice this person is not, do you see the map here? This person is, or this animal, or whatever it is, isn't going in a straight line. It's meandering around and observing the environment and where they are, more than trying to get to a destination. 28, the lush and flourishing, beautiful, beautiful headpiece. 29, rejoice, celebrate. Play, rejoice, and celebrate. Very playful, rejoicing card. 30, journal, dear nature. Now, a lot of people recommend journaling practices, and I've tried. I haven't found my stride in journaling yet, but I know that it is an excellent practice. Discern resonance with. Excellent idea. 32, receive the growth experienced. There's growth around us everywhere. And a lot of the times we don't receive it because we're expecting something else. So receive the growth that is there, that we are experiencing, rather than waiting someday for something that we think should be there. Enjoy a mindful photography walk. It doesn't have to be photography, if you ask me. It could be a mindful walk of sketches. It could be a mindful walk of note-taking or something else. But enjoy a mindful walk where we record in some way the impressions that we are receiving. Seek your inner wisdom. Beautiful card. Find creative potential through deep rest. A lot of us don't rest enough. 36, take a reflective walk. Perfect. Looks like we're in winter now. Maybe. 37, find courage through stress. Not all stress is negative. Not all stress is something that we don't want. We want some kinds of stress. That stress that causes us to grow and stretch and develop. The stress of exercising, for example, in a gym, that is stress, but it's beneficial stress. It's stress that helps us become more healthy, more flexible, more agile, more able. Discover simplicity through the senses. Beautiful. You have a person playing a cello in front of an ox. I wonder if the ox is appreciating it. Allow curiosity to drive what does not make sense. So when some things don't make sense, we don't want to just say, oh, it doesn't make sense and move on. We want to let our curiosity draw us and move us and help us learn and discover. Have a rendezvous with your imagination. Perfect. Look at this rendezvous happening here. A little bit of a Taoist, light and dark, conscious and unconscious maybe. Rendezvous with self, I love that. Seize the moment to creatively direct your raw energy. This looks like a summer card to me. We got the Leo there. We got the sun tattooed on the chest. Ah, lovely. Express an aspect of yourself through service. Yes. Yes, service is always something we should strive to create time in our lives for. Regular time, not once every 10 years. Doing it on a regular basis is beneficial for us and those we serve, and those who observe us serving. And also random acts of kindness can be part of that as well. Tolerate the paradox and make a decision. Yes, paradox. Decide. Make those essential actions matter. Is it weird to me that this reminds me of the moon card? That crustacean coming up out of the ocean? Okay, take a leap of faith with your ideals. Sagittarius. Oh, Scorpio. Oh, Sagittarius. Oh, Libra. Oh, Virgo. Leo. Aha, Gemini. Aha. No, I'm sorry, Gemini. Gemini. Let's see. So, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Where's the crab? That's a turtle. Okay. Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Okay, I feel like an idiot. Sagittarius, Capricorn. Find approval with yourself before turning your eyes to the world. And this should be Aquarius, although Aquarius is actually an air sign. Resist coercions of your culture. And then this should, no, is this Pisces? I get Pisces vibes here, but this should be Pisces then. Oh, there's a fish down there. Stay bewitched by your own consciousness. Yeah, that makes Okay, so yes, Aquarius. Resist coercions of your culture, very Aquarius statement. Stay bewitched by your own consciousness, definitely Pisces. Okay, 49, connect with nature, whatever the weather. Lovely. 50, shine light on those triggers. Yeah, because when we think of triggers, trigger warning, it's something we want to avoid, something we want to protect ourselves from, but it's the triggers that are the signs of where we want to work on ourselves. Triggers are of benefit. And if we blame somebody else for triggering us for the most part, we're blaming the wrong person. It's us who have put the trigger out there for them to hit most of the time. Now, there are some larger issues where that might not be the case. And it could also be the case that we started using trigger to mean too many different things. There are some things that we should not do. Yeah, we should not speak of without being sure that people are safe. For example, random conversations about sexual assault. And trigger warning, I'm not going to talk about it though, but that might be something that we want to be sure that people are okay about. But I think we're getting a little bit too trigger sense shy, if that makes sense. A lot of the triggers that we are trying to avoid, we want to explore those and do the work so they become triggers no more. And then, of course, number 51, Derek John Thomas's Bountiful Autumn deck. So this is the deck, and I'm going to be working with this deck, this beautiful deck, along with this beautiful deck, along with this beautiful deck. Let's see if I can squeeze this here on the side. Come next week. Now the new moon is coming, and I'm going to be using these decks starting with the new moon, along with the beautiful Tarot of the Holy Light. So friends, if you're interested in that and how I'm going to end up working with those and this cloth, then do the things, yeah? Hit the like button so that Facebook knows that you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the notifications alarm bell so you do know when I upload videos, and comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you have these decks? How do you work with these decks? Do you think the points of things that were a little bit uncomfortable for me, am I being overly sensitive? Am I being, like I said, triggered, and is it something that I need to work on? Possibly, very possibly. So friends, let me know. And if you want a private reading from me, there will be my email in the description box below. Send me an email. We can get you a reading with any of these decks if you like, or something else. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.